Oh, come on. Almost there, and oh, perfect. Okay. So this is part 4 of kitchen safety cleanliness. Whatever I said before, because I probably already forgot what I was saying. But so this one is about current industry safety standards about thawing and making sure food is okay to use. Like, yeah, pretty much thawing, heating up, all that. So when you're putting things in a like, there are some foods that will get infected with a bunch of stuff that you probably don't want infected with. You want to keep off germs and bacteria, all that from it. So in order to prevent that, you want to keep your things you either have to cook them really properly to make sure these things do not go on there, burns them off, makes your food all nice and good, or you want them at a colder temperature to make sure nothing goes on there and, you know, makes the food all disgusting, moldy, all that. That's horrible. You do not want that happening. Especially when you want to use that for cooking, it's not going to turn out well, especially if it has mold. But as we see here, we have a fridge. I'll pick that up in a second. And right here, we have a stove. Let's see. I will use this random tube as a thermometer because I don't have one. But, or we do and I can't find it. I don't know, I'm not very good at finding things. But, so, when you're cooking things and making things, the recommended temperature to keep things cooled down and make sure bacteria, if any, spreads very slowly or at all. You do not want that happening. So it is recommended you keep things under 41 degrees. I believe it was Fahrenheit. So you want to keep, the fridge or the freezer, you want those to be kept at a certain temperature to make sure all your food stays nice and healthy. You don't want it to be getting close to room temperature because that's going to make food go very bad. I've seen it happen. It's disgusting. But when it comes to that, if you want to make sure, if you uncan anything, if you make anything, make sure to cover it and leave it in the fridge. Meats and stuff and fish, all that, go lower on the racks. Help prevent cross-contamination. Instantly edible foods like salad and stuff, keep that at the top. That will keep them healthy and from getting infected from the meats. If you want to confirm that it is cold enough, as it said, use either a meat checking temperature or some sort of thermometer where you're not putting your hands on the food directly, unless you're using gloves. You should be using gloves. But you put it in, you let it do its thing while it checks the temperature, and hopefully it's around 41 below it, if not very faintly above it. You don't want it very high above it, that would be bad. But that's the 41 degree mark for fridge and freezer. When you are warming something or heating it up, it is industry standard to keep it above 135 degrees. That is the hot zone you will be using to cook things. When you have an oven and stuff, that will more than likely go from 200 to, 500 and over. That's the big area you want to keep things between. It's probably very rarely going to have an oven that goes below 200. At least that's how my oven is. I don't know how everybody else's ovens are. But that keeps it well above the cooking line. that is required in order to make sure that food cooks properly. Because you want it to, not be frozen in the middle or cold in the middle and have, or, warm to the point where bacteria and germs spread. You don't want any of that. And again, when you're making those, good thing to use is a metal thermometer or a meat thermometer. You put in and you let it do its thing. If you do not have that, then I'm honestly not sure what you'd use as a backup to that. But you should probably make sure that it's something viable. If not, go out and buy a relatively cheap one that can get the job done if you can afford it, and do your best to make sure that food's good. Alright, for now that concludes part 4, I hope I'm getting these right, of our food cleanliness and kitchen safety.